How about that for a soft intro to the show?
That's nice.
Yeah. Our guest picked this out.
That's nice.
We'll get to that here in just a second. It's Doug Miller. My soul is anchored with the Lord.
In the Lord, yes.
Or in the Lord, yeah. This is the live version of it that I'm learning, so it's a good way to get us into the show. Welcome to Jude the Podcast. This is David Jude. I'm your host for the show, as always. And as always, I also appreciate every like, share, and download and listen that you've provided for us. Very much appreciated for that. Another exciting day as we continue our 2026 voter series. Before I do that, I have to say the lovely Mrs. Jude, the podcast, is here.
Late, but never.
Yeah.
Didn't think she's ever showing up.
Yeah, she came in wheels hot today.
Get out of the way.
Get out of the way. Anyway, we're back to our voter series. With us this evening, very proud to have with us Mr. Wallis Brooks. Wallis, thanks for being here with us.
David, Steve, thank you all for the opportunity to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's been a good series for us. Now, you're running for city commissioner.
I am.
And you are an incumbent for that position. Is that correct?
For that position.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to hearing all about what you've accomplished and things that you're proud of and things you want to share with us, and then some of the questions that we'll get through for the rest of it. But again, just appreciate your time, especially on a Monday afternoon. So it's a big deal for us. Well, let's do what we've done with every other candidate that's come in to speak, and that's to give you both the opening comments and then we'll do the closing comments. You can have those too. But this is really your moment to tell folks why they should continue voting for you and keep you in office. So with that, Wallis, take it away.
Well, again, I thank David and Stacy both for the opportunity to participate. And again, my name is Wallis Brooks, and I'm running for re-election to the Parish City Council. I've been on the City Council for 15 plus years. The question is, how did I get here? Because when I got here, I was a part of the Parish School Board. I was chairing that board when I got the call that someone, Herman Hutzel, who was a Parisian, had passed away and was in the bad wreck on the Lexington Road. And they asked if I would be interested. I told them, give me 24 hours and let me decide whether or not I want to get into this side of the political side. So I thought about it and just decided to see what happens and how it works. So that's why I actually got into the side of it.
Yeah.
So. Must have done pretty well.
Yeah. 15 years. You've been in office 15 years.
Plus.
15 plus. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's awesome.
Well, there's our first eye-opening moment. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
How about that? So it's been a little bit.
I thought it had been a long time, but I just didn't know how many terms.
Right.
I didn't know.
It's been a while. Yeah.
That's exciting.
Well, same. I knew it's been a while, and you're the steady face on the council.
One of the steady faces.
Yeah, one of the steady faces. Yeah. But I didn't realize 15. So, I mean, to start off with, congratulations. That's a big deal.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you were on the Paris School Board?
Paris School Board. Mm-hmm. Again, I was appointed to that and then decided to stay on that side. I had kids in school, graduated from Paris High School and say, hey, let's see what I can do there. So that's why I continued to run for that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exciting. So now on the city commission, and again, I'm looking at the website, so I may be off here, but you're part of several different boards. I guess you call them committees or boards.
Committees right now. I chair the Parks and Rec board. We're over all the city parks, and including the new park, and also serve on the audit committee, which investments.
Both barrels, didn't you?
Yeah, both barrels. Both barrels. Yeah. So I'm part of those two committees. Actually, chair the Parks and Rec and then part of the audit committee.
Yeah. Well,
wow.
Yeah, we'll get to both of those.
Did you pick those or did you get sucked in?
Well, the Parks and Rec, I kind of want to be a part of because of, again, wanting the athletic part of it, me being an athlete, wanting to be a part of that. And then the audit committee, I guess being in banking for 40 years,
well,
they kind of just said, hey, we need you to be a part of that.
That's close enough, right?
And to approve bills and make sure that, we had the money to be able to cover those, the expenses of the city. So, so they were, those put on those too. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, you're qualified for those parts, I suppose, right? Yeah, that's right. Well, let's start here this evening. For those that may not understand or know, and I'm going to include myself and Stacy in this mix too. Tell us about the role of the city commissioner. What is that job? What does that look like?
Well, we responsible for approving the budget, the hiring of the city manager, and then we also serve on the committee should we have openings. Again, like we just had the police officer, the chief of police, that we've got opening in. Just taking care of the general expenses, approve ordinances that are a part of the city. And right now, just being part of the Parks and Rec Board, we serve on different committees and things within the city. So it's sometimes can be pretty complicated in some of the things that we do. But for the most part, we stay out of the day-to-day functions, but we receive things from the city manager and from the mayor that we're responsible for.
Yeah. Well, I would think it's a pretty hopping position, really. I mean, just those things that you've mentioned, it seems like that would be a lot of work.
It can be a pretty hopping position. Again, even with the personnel, we don't have the day-to-day, but the city manager who handles personnel situations, he does bring those things to the city council for our approval or our rejection. So it can be a pretty consuming thing, pretty hopping thing, as you just said.
Yeah. I wasn't sure the right word to use.
No, hopping's fine. It can be hopping. We've had some situations that have been pretty hopping, but yeah, it can be a pretty hopping position. Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll get it for a loss of a word, so I'll just throw it out there. If it's not the right one, just put the right one in there.
No, hopping's good.
Yeah, it seemed appropriate to me. So
right. We've had a lot of issues that have been hopping.
That's right. That's right. Well, that's part of it, though, right?
That is part of it.
We're, we're not the biggest community around, but we seem like we're growing, and there's always some type of issues.
And we don't have to be the biggest community.
Yeah.
Because there's room to grow, and the thing is that with growth comes more this and more of that. So don't get me wrong. I want the city of Paris to grow.
Yeah.
But we want to do it, responsibly. Is just probably the word that we're looking for. We want to do it and not, outgrow ourselves where we get ourselves in a situation that we can't handle.
Right. Well, we'll get into almost all of those topics, as you can imagine, here in just a few minutes. But we'll get started talking about some of our survey data. Did you see our survey online?
I did get an opportunity to look at part of the
Okay. Did you take the survey?
I did not actually. I really didn't see it.
Yeah, he didn't see it. I had to send it back to him again.
She sent the survey. I did miss it.
It was over then. Yeah.
Yeah, but I did look at the. I did get an opportunity to look at it.
Yeah.
A lot of good opportunity, a lot of good questions, and a lot of good answers. That were a part of the survey.
Sure were.
And I appreciate. I think you said you were looking for 100 responses. You got 97, which is really great.
Yeah.
And
for it to be thrown together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, the survey was interesting.
Yeah.
After looking at it and seeing some of the responses.
Well, and we talked a little bit before, but to anyone listening to your episode, I want to cover it again to say how the survey came about. It was something that was on our minds, and something just told me to do it because we hadn't seen this format before. We hadn't seen where the voters really have a platform of which they can express their concerns. Not saying it doesn't exist. I'm just saying we hadn't seen it. And so that idea stayed on my mind for a little bit, and I thought, if you're carrying the idea and you can't get rid of it, you should try it. And so Stacy and I put together what we thought would be good questions to ask the community. And we did have that goal. I wish everybody would have taken it, but the truth is we got it together pretty fast. Mm-hmm. And then you could only get it out so fast. Right. And then the second part of that was we're going to release the data, and it's on our website. And for anyone that's interested, the website is dpjconsulting.com. There'll be a drop-down menu on that website, and you can see the, I think it's PBC voter data, something like that. So we wanted the data to be out for the public, for anyone that's interested in it. But then the second part was to say, why don't we take it the next step and just have the candidates come on and have a conversation? And so anyway, that put our timeline pretty tight in order to get everybody in before the primaries get here. And so with that, we knew that we didn't have much opportunity to promote it or keep it out long term. So it was only out a couple weeks. And then we did set a goal of 100 people, and we got to 97.
Almost there.
Almost there.
We would have liked to have seen it spread a little bit more demographically. We were pleasantly surprised that it was half business owners and half non-business owners, but we would have liked more parties to be equally represented. But, we'll get it. We'll do it better next time. You never know.
Trial and error.
Trial and error. That's right.
And it really stemmed from, we didn't know a lot of the candidates. We used to be pretty active with things, and it just, life has gotten in the way, as we all know. And we just were like, I don't know any of these people on the roster on the website. I don't know who these people are. So that's kind of how it started, is let's have conversations. And man, this whole process has been great, because I did not realize how much I don't understand or know anything about the government and how it works. Mm-hmm. We've learned a ton. I mean, so if nothing more, it's been the greatest educational episode from everybody that we've interviewed, stuff we had no idea. So it's really opened our eyes a lot. And
yeah, and we've been here for a long time. Feel like we know a lot of people.
Years.
Yeah. And feel like we've known some of the candidates that have come in already. But every episode, somebody throws something out that you're like, man, I had no idea. So, we thought we were informed.
Oh, no. No, it's obvious. I was like, okay.
All right, we've rambled for a bit.
You're fine.
Let's get Wallis on the hot seat here. So we're going to start with question 13, and we'll have it up on the screen there for you. Question 13 on the survey says, generally, are you satisfied with the direction of the city of Paris? Now, I'll share with you on this. There's only 3 answers. We tried to make people take a stand, right? Not give the maybe somewhat a little bit. We tried to say yes or no, but we did have a neutral part. There's not many yeses on here. There's 13 yeses, 26 no's, and 56 somewhat. And so I'll share that with you and then ask you that question. What's your reaction to hearing that?
Me personally, I'm satisfied with the direction that the city's going. And again, having looked at the survey in itself, I know folks are looking for housing. Folks are looking for restaurants. Folks are looking for, again, the parks and recreation, things, folks say that when companies are looking for places to bring their businesses, they want to know what our employers are going to be doing. But it takes rooftops in order for us to be able to do that. And I know housing, was a part of the survey.
Yeah.
We need affordable housing for folks. And for the city of Paris, where do we put them? But we've got to find a place for affordable housing in order for folks to be able to come to Paris. We've got CMWA. We've got the school systems where a lot of folks commute in. We'd like to have places for those folks to actually live here in Paris and Bourbon County and not have to, commute back and forth. And again, we've got to have a place for those folks to stay if that's what, folks are looking for. I'd love to have a nice restaurant here where I don't have to drive. I hate that drive to Lexington.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I could do a lot, if I can do things in Paris, I would really love to do that. But that drive to Lexington, I can get to Lexington, but can you get around Lexington to get to the places where
I'm late.
Right.
That's why I'm 15 minutes late.
Yeah. Nicholasville Road, it's atrocious. Hamburg's atrocious, trying to get around them. But if we had those places here, I think, the opportunity would be for, for the housing and things that people are looking for. Again, can we do better? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you said something interesting there. Again, hadn't thought of this perspective before. Now, we've had the county judge executive candidates on, and we've had some county level guests on. But you made a comment there that affordable housing, where do we put them? Talking about the city of Paris. My words, right? Are we landlocked, or are we in a situation where it's difficult for the city to create affordable housing?
The city's kind of landlocked, but we've got the development going on near the Walmart. That's next to the Walmart on that side, and I can't call a place of it right now. But then we've got Cross Creek, where you've got some homes going on the left in Cross Creek. So there are places that that we're beginning to do things.
Okay.
And that's what we need. If we're going to do some things, we have to have places for folks to live, and for the restaurants, I'd love to have a place to if I can get a great steak as opposed to driving to Lexington to do that.
Is Cross Creek is part of the city?
Yes.
Okay.
I wasn't sure of that. Yeah. And I think there's a neighborhood starting over here across from our house, but I was thinking that was in the city, but it may not be.
We're right on the line, so I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah, we're really close to the line.
They're not.
So that's interesting that the city proper, the city itself, doesn't have a whole lot of real estate.
Not within
the city limits.
So we're jumping a little bit here, but is that part of the long-term vision, is to say, hey, we're going to have to
annex
or buy more land,
to get things within the city, as opposed to raising taxes because I would definitely want to do that in order to be able to do things.
Yeah. Well, yeah, then that's a really strategic vision that you guys have to look at.
Right.
We don't have a lot of land, and
that'd be interesting to see how that plays out with like the people that want to conserve, is because like if you even have dilapidated properties that you could level, return into a really nice that would have its resistance of its own.
You gave a lead into that. I will say.
There's some resistance.
Yeah, there you go.
Because mad about a parking lot, we're probably going to be mad about some other stuff.
Right. No, because you're right. Because we've got a lot of properties that are dilapidated. That if we could push them over and then, just move and then have homes and stuff rebuilt
nice
because that gets them back onto the tax rolls.
Yeah.
So those are another things that we're kind of looking at to get that taken care of. So
that's going to be quite the challenge. Good luck.
Yeah, that's a big challenge.
Yeah.
And just recently, we've had that opportunity to we've kind of. There's some properties that we've actually are beginning to do that too. But finding the folks who actually own those properties, because you got heirs, and so trying folks to be able to do that. So,
that's probably worth spending just a second on this concept of the city has a process for which you can recover dilapidated. Is that the right word? Right. Dilapidated buildings to return back into usable structures,
Correct.
I guess. Can you talk just a little bit about that process?
And, we've got our attorney, again, and we find properties that meet that, those credentials. Nobody's in them, or they're falling down, and just nobody's taking care of them. And then, we find, and that makes it kind of tough because we're trying to find the heirs of these properties, and that can be a challenge in itself. And then you have to serve the heirs and, make sure that they're,
that was a year-long process for this.
Yeah.
Property here. So.
Well, and I know I'm trading, I got to tread carefully here, but that's a different process than eminent domain.
Right. Totally different.
Exactly. And so from our county episodes and then from the survey results, this topic of eminent domain is a big one here in Bourbon County.
It's very touchy.
Very touchy, right? But the process that you're talking about within the city is different.
Correct.
It's not the same.
We're not. Yeah, we're actually going through a process to find the heirs and try to if they don't want put them back on the the tax rolls because of the taxes and the things that haven't been paid. Then yes, we're looking to again find the process of getting them and then putting them. Whether we take them and push them over and then file the liens on the properties and things of that nature. So,
but it's a much more defined process than we're big government. We just want to take it.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Very well.
Make that very clear.
Yeah. I'm glad we talked on that for just a second. So that's a big deal. So if I heard you right, generally you think Paris is headed in the right direction? I
think we are. Again, we've got the hotel that's going in downtown. And I think most of the buildings downtown, whereas at one point when I was on the council, there were a lot of vacant buildings. And I think we were beginning to fill those buildings. Again, right now, I think we're moving in that direction. Again, can we do better? Sure.
Sure, of course.
There's always room to do better.
Nothing seems fast. You just got to take time. But
Yeah. Okay. Well, then moving on just a little bit. Let's talk to question 21.
Okay.
Which speaks to, do you feel informed on Paris infrastructure, city business projects, whether it's road, water, sewer, internet, etc.? Once again, in both of these questions, it took a little bit before the positive answers started hitting. So truly the survey's anonymous. We don't know who took it.
Right.
Don't know who's seen it. Although we've been questioned about that, do you really know? Like, no, I have no
who
idea.
are you working for? Like, we don't.
We had a phone call or two to say, do you know something we don't know? Yeah. No, literally, I don't. I just made up some questions to put out to the community.
And again, our infrastructure is pretty stuff because it's pretty old. And I know with the recent cold spell, we had several water main breaks. They'd freeze, and then all of a sudden, once it began to warm up, we'd have breaks. Middle of the night, and where we had to, send crews and stuff out. So our infrastructure, we need, again, is it up to par? No. But that's a big thing that we really need to work on is our infrastructure, getting everything up to, up to par to where we, don't have those breaks and things.
You plan for that? I mean, I know you do your budget and you're estimating what you think next budget cycle's costs are going to be. Do you guys plan for that?
Oh, sure we do. And then we've got, we do budget workshops with our supervisors, and they kind of fill us in on what we're probably going to need down the road, and we try to budget for those things. Yeah, is there something going to pop up that we don't? Yes. Again, we might lose a transformer that we didn't plan for, so and that's something that we would have to to replace at that time. But do they do a good job of letting us know what they need and what could happen down the road? Sure. We've got great people that work for us and guys who know their departments and know what's going on. So, and they try to let us know. And so we try to budget for those things. And then we try to throw a little extra in just for emergencies, like losing a transformer or water main breaks and things like that.
Yeah, or 7 breaks over the winter.
Right. Exactly.
Speaking of the infrastructure pieces, and this is to the heart of the question, if you read the survey results, the comments on the survey results, it's all about transparency, right? It always feels like the complaints are backdoor deals and all of these other type of things, right? So you're thinking about hiring a private investigator, huh? Think knowledge, experience, and trust? Think DPJ Consulting. Listen, we're the folks you want on your team. Whether it's a criminal matter, corporate, or administrative issue, or maybe something more personal, you need to make the right choice for you. Our house of expertise at DPJ Consulting can help you with investigations, and that can mean a whole lot of different things. Pre-employment background checks, personal VIP security, and so much more. Check us out at dpjconsulting.com. Follow us on all of our social media platforms, or give us a call at 855-TEAM-DPJ. That's 855-TEAM-DPJ. Give us a call. It costs nothing to talk. It costs you everything if we don't.
As far as the current council, I mean, we're as transparent as we can be. I mean, we try to let folks know as far as advance ahead that that we can. I mean, because there are things that kind of blindside us. I mean, if we don't know, we can't hardly pass it on to the folks that that we're responsible for. So I think we're as transparent as we can be and try to inform the folks as best that we can.
I have a 2-part question on that, right? The first part is the information out there for the public to see and learn? And I'll stop there.
No, and I think we put a lot of stuff on our website, and I think we've done, the individuals that's responsible. We put a lot of stuff on our website, and I think if folks will go to our website, I mean, they can get a lot of information from that.
Yeah.
I feel that was part of our problem is we just didn't and I think that was the part of having this podcast to try to tell everybody, we're responsible for seeking the information as well, instead of being quick to complain about nobody ever, whatever. Well, everybody we've sat down and asked has told us anything we've wanted to know. They've been very open and honest, and kudos to everybody. That it's just a matter of, you got to hold up your end of the bargain too. If you can put the information out there, but if you don't retrieve it,
right,
that's on us, not other people. So anyway, sorry.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
She's talking to the second part of the question, which is it the city's responsibility to inform the public, or is it the public's job to be informed? No, it's great timing.
No, it's up to us to inform the public. We need to let folks know what's going on within the city. And I think from there, then they can decide, where they go from there. I think we try to put everything that we think should be out there. We try to put it on our website for folks to be informed.
Yeah, that's probably a good time to bring up this new park.
You said it.
All right.
Yeah, here we go.
Which one?
Yeah, which one?
We're going to go, we'll go with the one inside the city limits. How about that?
Wallis Brooks is not against the park going inside the city limits.
Wow, he just done threw it out there.
He's not against the park going inside the city limits. Wallis Brooks wants somebody else to have a skin in the game.
Yeah.
Should the city put up? Sure, I think we ought to be, but I think the folks who want that park should have a skin in the game. I think they ought to be able to raise part of the money in order to do that, because they've talked about in our last meeting, parks are going in here and here and here, but they've talked about the timing that it takes to do this, and those parks are going to be nice, but they're going to be nice 4 and 5 years down the road. And then they're talking about volunteers running the park. Well, I've been a part of boards where volunteers are going to run whatever, and then when you call them up, I've got something to do tonight, or I can't make it. So,
like you both have been coaches. You know how that volunteer stuff goes. Yeah,
exactly. So, Wallis Brooks is not against the park. Wallis Brooks wants other folks to have a skin in this game, to be a part of that.
I've said we're kind of a house divided. Although I'm starting to get.
I'm bending you, man.
She's trying, but we're kind of a house divided. She's all for it. The park.
I'm for all the parks. Like, I want them all, but I also feel that people need to just put their money where their mouth is, quit complaining, and go get you some flowers and help plant and do things and make it pretty. Help out. Well,
and I agree. Are you going to go get a mower? Or are you going to come and pull the weeds? And because those things are, that's going to be a part of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And my point is, we have other parks, and during my limited times of being there myself, I don't see a whole lot of other people using them.
Right.
And so that's a challenge in an economically challenged time to say, well, then the city should put a bunch of funds into another place nobody's going to use.
Right. Well, and I will say that on March the 21st, we've got a new Frisbee golf that's going to open out at Garrett Park. If you've not been out there, the baskets are up. And with that green space, I think that's going to be cool because, Shillett Hill Park in Lexington has one, and the folks that put it in for free. So, and they think this is a good thing. And then it won't be flooded. There's no.
It can't be damaged too much. So
be damaged.
These are good things,
right? And those are good things. So, we're looking forward to opening that on March the 21st. So that's going to be a good thing. And again, I'm not against the park. Let's get everybody involved.
Has somebody said something?
Well, I've just told folks that have asked me. I've told them the city does not want that park to be just solely for the city. I mean, I want everybody to be involved. That folks are saying the city needs to do this and well, sure, the city needs to, but I mean, let's get everybody involved.
To me, my first thought was, well, how do we pay for it? So it's like, if that's where my mind goes. Yeah, I'd love it all to be that way, but it costs, and it costs maintenance, and it costs.
Right.
So
you're right. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So the plan so far has it's just really just been an interest plan, or are the finances still being developed?
Finances are still, but there's a group that and it's a great idea of what's about what can be done. They've got some folks involved outside of the city of Paris and some other. So it's a great idea. So I think if it works. the monies and things come together, it can
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can work.
Yeah. Are you for the park?
Thank you, Dave. I am not against the park.
I was like,
I was just saying.
what did you just ask me?
I like that. That was.
I just want to make sure we drive that point.
I am not against the park. That's good.
Fair enough. Sorry, that was a
No, that was good.
That was a good one.
Gotcha
That was
moment.
good.
Yeah.
That was good.
And I even told him there's no gotcha moments at all. I was like, oh, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, I lied. Sorry.
Yeah, thanks for that. All right, let's move up to question number 61 on the survey. Now, this one was a little bit of a shocker for me, but the question is, would you consider the city of Paris to be business friendly? Now, the end results ended up relatively close between the positive comments and the positive votes and the negative votes. But Wallace, I'll tell you, it took a long time before any positive votes showed up. So the survey is anonymous, but Stacy and I could see the results, and we would check them every couple of days or something like that. And it took a little bit for some positive responses to get in there. And we understand it could just been the people that are upset taking the survey.
They always jump on board first.
Yeah, we don't know.
They do.
We don't know. Before I get to the questions, here was the one thing that we did think was very interesting, and this is question 65, which is, do you or have you owned or operated a small business in Paris and or Bourbon County?
I have not.
Well, that survey came out almost 50-50. And so that was really interesting to us to say there's a lot of business owners in there that were answering the previous questions about being friendly or not, right? Small survey, you don't know who took it. But for us to look at that 50-50 answer gave us some validity to the question. So where I'm getting at, all that is to say, what's your opinion? Is Paris business friendly or not?
I think we're business friendly. I have heard that this would be, that, again, business owners park in front of their establishment. I mean, if you want folks to patronize your business, if they can't park,
right, they're not coming.
They're not coming. And we're kind of at a for parking anyway. You've got the one municipal right there next to where the new hotel is. You've got the one on I think it's 8th Street, the corner of 8th.
Right.
And then you've got the one that's behind, I guess, Quill and Leather going up 7th Street on the right there. So, parking is a premium kind of in downtown.
Yeah.
And so, again, if you can't park, if you go downtown and you're looking to go into one of the businesses downtown, they're probably not going in. But for the most part, I think our business owners are pretty friendly. I'd like to see the again, who actually took the survey to say
Right.
that our folks down, because I've been in probably every business down there, and I think I'd say 75% of the businesses down there, and I think most of our folks are as friendly as they can be. Because I mean, who wants to go into a business that that's not inviting?
Yeah.
So when we talk about business friendly, like when you were mentioning about some of these companies that want to come to Bourbon County or Paris, so they're looking at the amenities that are offered. I have heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, because we had a business downtown, we had no issues, but I've heard people talk about the rent or the utilities being really high. Is there any validity to that, or is that just complaining?
That's a good question.
Maybe. I don't know.
And I can't tell you because I've not actually been into to one of those. But now I know, again, the only one that I can really speak for is, again, the bed and breakfast that above the Chinese restaurant. He's as reasonable as you can be. I mean,
we didn't have any issues with utility costs or anything like that. So I know that had originally said that, well, the business owners are having a hard time, but for me, it would be more of the people got to frequent you. I mean, they've got to come downtown and they've got to come to your business other than just once every now and then, because that's how you stay in business. So.
Right. And as far as the rent, I'm not for sure.
You've not heard? Okay.
I've not heard.
I'm just being nosy.
Well, no.
Because that's kind of what I'd heard is like, oh, it's not business friendly because we can't afford to be down there. And I'm thinking, well, We were. I mean,
well, it's kind of a chicken or the egg, right? I mean, they're privately owned buildings.
That's where I'm going with. They're privately owned buildings. So they're, they can charge. I'm assuming, whatever rents they choose, because they've got, in most cases, they've probably got a mortgage on that piece of property that they've got to pay. So I mean, and they're not going to, if my mortgage is $700, am I going to charge $650 for you to?
No,
right?
No. Yeah, I'm not.
I mean, that gets into the idea of growth, and
sure,
how nice to hear you say that parking's at a premium in downtown.
It is.
What nice place to be in.
Yeah.
That you'll have to start worrying about parking before too awful long.
Yeah, and like I say, with the new hotel, we just awarded them some spots next to their building. So yeah, and parking is a premium.
Yeah,
and again, if our business folks would use the side streets, and if you want somebody to frequent your business and come in, I mean, that's only fair if you're wanting folks to come in and be a part of it.
We've had some good discussion about growth, the growth of the town, and what that looks like. Correct me if I'm wrong. You said you are for growth here, responsible growth.
Responsible growth.
Yeah. What makes an attractive business? Like in your mind, as one of our city commissioners, and as you're making policy and all the things to help our town, what makes an attractive business in your mind for Paris?
Something that's unique, something that again, that someone else doesn't have. Again, we're looking for, folks are always saying we'd like a great steakhouse.
Yeah.
I would love a great steakhouse so I don't have to drive to Lexington to get a steak.
Yeah.
Would I like to have a BW3s here in town, Buffalo Wild Wings? Sure, I'd love a place to be able to go and watch, with 15 TVs. And
be big as a house.
Yeah.
That'd be big as a house.
Yeah, we'd be there a lot.
Right. So, and I think that's kind of what, again, I was in Carlisle the other night refereeing a basketball game, and a good friend of mine was one of the owners of McDonald's, and he was telling us that folks want McDonald's to come to Carlisle. Well, his response was, "There's not enough rooftops in Carlisle for us to put a McDonald's."
Yeah,
and so and again, it goes back to affordable housing and getting folks in them, and again, to get a nice steakhouse, it takes that kind of to get folks here.
This may be the most challenging question. What needs to come first? Housing, businesses? How do you get the businesses without the places to live? But how do you?
You got to have housing.
Got to have housing.
Got to have housing to do that.
Got to have housing to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Yeah. All right. We are at a spot to say, what topics do you have? We've ran through a list of questions that we have. What haven't we talked about? Anything that you want to put on here? We are so glad to have Ugly Tent as a sponsor to the show. My longtime friend Kenny Dietrich is a subject matter expert in modern survival, bushcrafting, and preparedness. As he challenges us on the show, be prepared for the disaster most likely to happen to you. But let me tell you, Ugly Tent is so much more than just disaster preparedness. You need to check out the website at uglytent.com. That's UGLYTENT.com for a complete list of their products, their classes, and all the services that Kenny offers. There's a lot that I think you'll find interesting at uglytent.com. Again, just a neat place to go. So whether it's for camping, maybe it's a hike, maybe it's just trying to be in the outdoors for a little bit, uglytent.com is filled with the products and the services that you want. Not to mention, you have a true expert as a resource for you. Listen, while you're there, use the promo code JUDE, that's lowercase JUDE, and that code will get you 10% off your total purchase. That's a pretty good deal for some really cool stuff. Anyway, check out Kenny at uglytent.com.
What would I say to tell the folks that I think Paris is moving in the right direction? I think that, again, with the Lexington Road and now the Georgetown Road, and I think, folks have an avenue to get here now. I think, again, with responsible growth and, the Cross Creek is growing, and we've just got to have, my kids, I've got 3. I've got 2 boys and a girl. Are they coming back to Paris? Probably not, because we've got to find something for young people to do. And even for, we've talked about this thing with senior living. We've got to have, for folks who don't want to, live in their homes, we've got to find a place. We've got Bourbon Heights, but we need to find a place for those folks. I just think the opportunity's here. And I think with, responsible growth and some housing and bringing folks to Bourbon County, I think, Paris is on that cusp of really taking off. It just takes, folks with that vision that want to be here for that to happen.
That's kind of what we've said. We feel like we're right there. We're just getting ready, to not explode, because that's what scares people, but just small growth. That way businesses can stay in business and sustain it, and then hopefully our kids will start hanging around.
We'll stay.
Yeah.
Right.
It's been one of the common themes of the shows is the concept of growth seems to be permanent here, right? Whether you're for it or against it or whatever the words are that people use for it. But as we've talked with each of the candidates that come through, and I'm going to ask you to elaborate on some of this, the amount of infrastructure and work that's happened over the last few years, in our minds, feels like it's put us right on this edge of, man, we're ready to go.
Again, we with the pump stations, again, out on the Cross Creek, there's that possibility of putting another fire station out there because the growth is going in on that end. There's that possibility there. Again, going out the Millersburg Road, there's could be some housing out on that piece of property that's out there on the Millersburg Road. So again, you all said it. I think we're on the cusp. The infrastructure, we can make it if we can make it work, and it's there.
It's there. Were you part of the? And I always mess up this title, so my apologies for messing it up. I'll say it up front. The West Side Renovation Project.
Oh, that's a great. That's something that. That's something that the city was behind from the word go, of moving that piece, that the transfer station out to the bypass. I mean, that was a project that was, from the word go, when it first hit the books, that it needed to happen. It did not need to be where it was. And
why is it so important to move it?
Those big trucks running across the roads, tearing up the roads with the kids, and just it did need to be there in that neighborhood. It did not need to be there.
Yeah.
And being out on the bypass, it's easy access, and you're not destroying property, dropping trash and stuff going out there and not picking it up, and folks losing tires because of nails or whatever. It was just a great project.
Probably the neighbors are probably actually quieter for them too. A lot better.
And the fact that that now that we've got Brownfield coming in and looking at that piece of property, and I think it's just going to be a great thing when it's all said and done.
Now, is that something they can build on, or because it was landfill they can't?
That's what we're waiting to see.
Oh, okay.
Because they're testing the ground, and we've even talked about the questions. Can we run an exit to the bypass from there?
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh,
because there's only one way in and one way out.
Yeah.
Should something happen.
Yeah.
So that's been talked about. So that was just a great, and to Vanessa Logan and Anna Allen and all the folks that were a part of that, along with the city and the county.
Yeah.
That was just a great project that we've been a part of.
Does that connect over? I'm going to say behind the hardware store and the John Deere store.
Yeah.
Does that connect to that part of the?
On the back end of
to that part of the. I guess that's an industrial park too. what would you call that?
I think it's
area?
just a business
Business
access
area?
road.
Yeah.
Like not really a big
Right.
one, but
So
Yeah, that would be probably
perfect.
pretty
that would
easy.
be perfect
Yeah.
to do that.
And that changes the way that emergency services respond
Can
and
get in and get out.
get in, get out,
Yeah.
future growth with it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Have you been part of the industrial park renovations that come through the city as
Part
well?
of that the one on the Nicholas County and Bourbon County line, and then even again with the one that's on the other with the Georgetown Road on the bypass. I mean, again, there's places there.
Yeah.
And Gordon is working pretty hard trying to get folks into to fill those spaces.
Yeah. Well, we brought those up just to say again. It feels like we're right on this edge.
We're on the edge.
It's not that when we talk about growth, it's just a thing that's way off in the past. You look at roadways have been improved. Really, on 3 sides of our town, roadways have been improved. Industrial parks, opportunity for growth are there, and now these parks are coming in. So it does seem like
we're there.
I still think we're on the cusp of
We're right there.
great
Just got to
things
get them somewhere to sleep.
Get them somewhere to put
Somewhere
their
to
heads.
stay.
Right? No, you're
They've
exactly
already got a
right.
hotel. There's another hotel, so we're okay. We're getting there.
that's right.
Yeah, we're getting there. So.
Well, fair enough with that. Any closing comments you want to make? Any?
No, again, I just appreciate the opportunity. Again, when I called Stacy, she said, "We're not out to get you." So,
No, not at all. Not at all.
and I do appreciate that. I appreciate again the opportunity to let folks know who I am, because I think Dave and I talked about the day of somewhat knocking on doors is kind of because you don't know who's out there and what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But this gives folks an opportunity to know who I am and the other candidates as well, who we are and what we're for. And I'm hoping, in the primary that folks will punch that button that says Wallis Brooks.
That's right. That's right. Well, listen, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you coming and seeing us and being part of this. And what I've told everyone else, and this is coming from a place of sincerity, the idea that you've put yourself out now for a career
Oh, yeah.
in public service, and that you continue to be vulnerable enough to seek election takes a lot of courage and commitment, and congratulations to you for your long service and for this campaign too. So that means a lot. Where do people find you if they want to learn about your campaign or if they want to learn more about you?
My number, 859-707-9299. I give it.
Put it out there.
Or they can put it, again, or you can, it's on the website, the city.
Yep.
And the street signs or
I'll have
house
street
and
signs
stuff
out.
like that. Okay.
I will have signs out. But I give folks, if you got a problem, I've not, I don't hide it.
Yeah. I admire that.
And again,
I'm over here shaking my head like, what did you just do? Oh.
Put it out there, right?
I put it out there.
Yeah.
And again, you can get me at the city.
Yeah.
And I'll answer the emails.
Perfect.
All right.
Seriously, congratulations to you.
No.
Best of luck to you.
Again, thank you, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. All right. With that, we'll call it another show. Thank you so much for Wallis Brooks being with us. Thank you to everybody for your likes, your shares, your downloads, and your listens. It means a lot to us. And with that, we'll see you on the next show.